Hi, I'm just making this video because after 18 months I've started relapsing again over the past few days. And I just wanted to show what happens again. So it's been coming on since the weekend. I travelled on Friday to see my neurologist, and he did a neurological examination, and I don't know whether that and the travelling has triggered it, but it's been getting worse and it's now exploded, and my speech is going and my walking's going, and the pain in my back and my neck and my head is bad. So I'm gonna have to lie down now. Hi, so we're day 2 since the new relapse exploded. My legs aren't good and I'm only able to be upright about, oh, it's a bit bright, upright about 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes. So it's really hitting me now. When I get up, I can feel it quite quickly come into my head, and my walking quickly goes difficult. I have to hold on to things. But thankfully I spoke to my neurologist at our local hospital last night, and they're arranging some IV steroids for me on the day ward, so hopefully that will come in the next few days or week or something. So for now I've increased the oral steroids a bit and taken some pregabalin and paracetamol. So I've just been having a walk around because I still need to move my legs and feet as much as possible, but key symptom that started coming back in this week and has got a lot worse is the my feet are just tingling and burning and cold, and I'm just feeling the need to want to, but the flat foot walking is getting hard. After a bit it makes me want to walk on tiptoes because of the pressure on my spine and on my feet. It's just so uncomfortable. So I try and walk around, but my feet are burning and it pulls on my back, and then my legs stop working, and then my head just gets really full. Hi, so a quick update. We're on day 2 since this flare exploded, and my walking is terrible. One of the main problems seems to be my feet. Just it's like my feet don't know where to go. My feet hurt so much. They're almost like they're not there, kind of spongy, and that's a bit scary because in actual fact the last few days when I've been walking, I was saying to my husband, my feet have felt funny, my legs, just I was scared I was going to trip over because the sensation in them was impaired. And then in the back of my head, actually, that's where I always get it, just in the back of my head, in my neck, kind of like a burny, grating feeling. So we're now on day 3 since this new relapse exploded. And I'm sorry the picture's not very good. It's because the curtains are closed because the light's bothering me. But what's really coming in today is the lumbar pain. It's getting horrendous. So if I'm on my feet, not only do I have the burning feet, which are hard to walk on, and my legs aren't moving properly, the lumbar pain just builds up until it's just impossible to stay on my feet. And the pain from my lumbar spine and from my neck is just horrific. And then I have to lie down again. The other thing that I've just got so much pins and needles in my legs and feet, and also the saddle pins and needles like between my legs is just becoming more prominent. The other thing that always gets worse for me is when I go for a wee. It always tends to make my head worse, but it immediately makes my head so much more worse. All I can imagine is that I may be seeping or losing more spinal fluid because of the added inflammation. I don't know, but that's what it feels like. So things are really building up. I took 10 milligrams of the prednisolone and 50 milligrams of diclofenac and some pregabalin, as well as my LDN, so we're going to keep up on that regime before we get the steroids. So I just wanted to show my walking. I just got up to get the post, and it's just impossible. My feet are burning too much and the pain is too hard, so I'm gonna lie down now. Right, so the things are just getting worse, and it's the twitching and jolting that's coming back in now. It's like my whole body, including my arms, legs, whole body, down my spine and my head is pins and needles and bubbly, and it's like it's a bit like electric shocks pulsating through your body. I think I'm gonna take some diazepam because it's really horrible. Once this twitching and shaking comes back in. It's getting really hard to walk up the stairs. So we're on day 4 since this relapse started, and we're gonna go down to A&E because The day ward won't have a bed until next Wednesday, and that's too long because I'm not very well. I'm just really struggling now. So we've been told to go down to A&E by the day ward if we need urgent treatment, so that's what we're gonna do. I feel like I've got 1,000 pins sticking in my lumbar and sacral spine, as well as all the other rubbish. Hi, so it's Saturday morning. I had my first lot of steroids last night, IV steroids, a 1 gram bag of methylprednisolone. So that is the first lot of a 3-day treatment, as was pre-arranged in agreement of my neurologists in my local hospital and my CSF leak specialist hospital, both NHS hospitals. And I'm thankful to say that as before, I've seen significant improvement, as you will probably see. Last night, it was quite late actually by the time I had waited, as you do, through, A&E was actually quite quiet, thankfully, so I was assessed quickly and moved to the GPAU, the GP assessment unit, and I was given a room, and they preempted the being a neurological patient, and I'd reported photophobia, so they had the blinds closed and the lights off, and the room was as quiet as it could be with the sound of hospitals around. So I was really, really thankful for that. It took a long time to get to see doctors. I saw a medical doctor and I saw a neurologist, and they did examinations, and then they did blood tests to just rule out any infection before they started the steroids. So I didn't actually get the steroids till, I think we started them about 7:45, and we didn't finish till probably after 9 o'clock. So it was pretty late by then. By the time I got up after all the lying in bed and having the steroids, I was very spaced out, which is quite normal for me, but my legs were significantly stronger. There were less pins and needles, although it was still there. My feet were burning less. I could walk without kind of aid, without my husband holding me or without holding on to things. We walked, a reasonable distance to the car that was parked in the hospital multi-storey. I sat up on the way home, which is tough, but that's normal for me. And then when I got home, I kind of tried to walk around the house, and we did go for a short walk around just to try and keep my legs moving. I was really bothered I wouldn't sleep, because steroids can often affect my sleep, and having them so late, but actually I slept pretty well. Woke up a couple of times, needing the loo, and woke up very early. So I got up quite early to move my legs and my body, and I needed a cup of tea, and I can get headaches anyway in the morning. And I was able to be walking around the house for a couple of hours, then made my husband a cup of tea, walked upstairs. Walking upstairs is easier. Then had some breakfast and had a shower before needing to have a lie down and a rest for about half an hour before getting up to make this little update. So I am back at the GPAU unit at about 1 p.m. for the second dose. And despite all the waiting and things not quite going to plan, actually we've discovered another pathway if there is a blockage and there are delays on beds in the day ward. So things are going as well as they can, really. And we were really happy with the care that I had yesterday, even though it typically took time. And that's what helps when you have consultants in agreement and radiological confirmed conditions. Even though they don't necessarily always understand the conditions, they're more able to learn about those and help accordingly. So things are going well. Morning. Well, it's 8 a.m. on Sunday the 10th of July, and today will be my final day of a 3-course treatment of steroids, 1 gram bags. So yeah, I did pretty well yesterday. My symptoms are much improved, my legs are so much stronger, I can be upright so much more, but I still have to rest a bit more, and there's still some lingering things, but things have improved so much. I managed to sleep okay last night. I did wake up a couple of times and again woke up about 4 a.m. So I've been up since about 6. And I'm doing well and just coming for a walk because it's due to be a very hot day. You can see how blue the sky is, and I'm not good walking in heat at the best of times, so I'm coming for a walk early before it gets too hot. So it's a little bit hard kind of coming out for a bit of a longer walk. My feet are still a bit irritated, my legs are a little bit slower than normal, and my head's just a little bit funny. I just get a bit of cloudiness and funny equilibrium, but a lot of that's quite normal for me. So I'm definitely feeling like I'm returning to my baseline, which can be a little bit up and down, but nothing like when I'm in a relapse or flare. But I would still say, I'm not at my best yet, and that normally takes a little while. After this final dose of steroids, I'll probably do a taper over the next couple of weeks to try and maintain the progress. But I will let you know how things go today. Hi, I am just back from the 3rd and final IV that I've just had at the GPAU unit. It took about an hour for the actual IV, and I'm feeling good. I feel, as I have done before, like these IVs have completely reversed this flare and brought me much more back to my baseline. As I said before, what I will probably do now is go on to a steroid taper. That's what I've done, and over the next couple of weeks taper down probably from about 20 milligrams for the first 2-3 days, then down to 15, then 10, then aiming for 5, and then alternate days, 5 milligrams on alternate days. So that seems to just help me sustain the progress that I've made. But we'll see how that goes. I'm confident, as in times before, that the IV has kind of hit the main kind of inflammation, and now it's just kind of making sure that's sustained and settled down and there's no reflare. But I've been really pleased at how quickly within a week of the flare exploding, we've done the 3 IVs, and it's brought me back round in super quick time. And that to me is incredible, because in years previous, before the arachnoiditis diagnosis and before realising that steroids would help me due to all the neuroinflammation, if I relapsed, I was out for weeks, months. Like literally I would be pretty much full time in bed for weeks and months on end. And even once I could kind of get up a bit, it was maybe be kind of, I could be up an hour and down an hour, up 2 hours, down 2 hours, and it was like that throughout the day. The whole year before we had the arachnoiditis diagnosis, after a relapse I had in April 2019, I just never got beyond being able to be up maybe 3-4 hours at the most, but it was normally 2 hours at a time before having to lie down for an hour or two, and that was how my whole day went for that whole year before the arachnoiditis diagnosis. But once I've had the diagnosis and had the IV treatment and done well from that, my normal is to be able to be upright 9 to 12 hours in one go, and then have a lie down for 1 to 2 hours, and then kind of be up and down the rest of the evening. So, it's an incredible difference on my quality of life. My cognitive function is better, my walking is better, I can go out for the day and not have to worry about having to lie down partway through the day. I do still have to lie down towards the evening, and the problem is because I can't sit down very comfortably, sitting down is never restful. So that lying down is that resting place for me. So I want to say again that I'm super grateful to both my consultant neurologists at 2 different hospitals that work together to support me, and for the hospital that has provided this treatment for me. It makes such a difference to my quality of life. It makes such a difference to stopping the progression of this illness. If you do not stop these flares, the progression slowly will probably be more nerve clumping, more adhesions, and that ultimately can cause a lot of problems, particularly if you can't walk and you're bedbound. And even though steroids do have many risks, especially things like osteoporosis and problems with the adrenal gland and things like that, to me, the risk of having more adhesions, not being able to walk, being more bedbound is just as much, if not more, a risk of things like osteoporosis and other problems in my body. So for me, I am very privileged that this treatment works. It doesn't work for everyone. And even though there was a many years delay before we realised I had arachnoiditis and how to treat it, it's amazing that I can still be treated with steroids, and they work so radically for me. So this video is to raise awareness. I hope that more people get diagnosed that have arachnoiditis, and that they are treated, and that these steroids work for them, and that as time moves on there will be even better treatments for people with maybe less risks. But I want to thank you for following my story. Please do like, please do share. My videos are fully public and can be shared on any platform, with anybody, with any doctors, with any medical staff that it might help. And please do leave a comment below or in any of the private groups, and I will try and get back to you and answer some of those questions as much as I can.